going? So after getting numerous emails and that sort of thing about, the number one thing I'm asked is how many miles you run, how much you make a week, and that sort of thing. And really the best way to average this out is when you take the entire year and take a look at it and say, this is what I average. And so you can get your calculators out if you want and add it up however you want to add it up, and that'll be the number, because that's the true number. One thing I want you to keep in mind is this is me. This is what I do. You could be different. I don't know how you run as a driver. I don't know if you're the kind of guy that wants to stay out every weekend and only go home every 3 or 4 weeks. You might come to Oakley and run pneumatic tanks, not run a hopper. You might run end dump, not a hopper. So I can only base it on, these numbers are based on what I do. I'm a hopper driver who I go home every weekend. Sometimes I don't go home till Saturday, and there's been a few times that I don't go home till Sunday, but if I go home Sunday, I don't usually come out till Tuesday because I still want to get a 34-hour reset while I'm at home. So that's how I run. And other people do run differently, and I understand that, and you should understand that too when I give you these numbers. So anyway, for the year, my gross check for the year was $221,000, $540.34. That's the year gross. So that takes into account loaded miles, unloaded miles, CSA pay, fuel surcharge, and any recruiting bonuses I got. And I got about 4 recruiting bonuses. They haven't given us the summary. If I had to estimate, I'm going to say the recruiting bonuses were probably about 4,000 of that, because they give Oakley gives some bonuses for giving them leads, and then also they give recruiting bonuses if someone actually starts. And so that's that part. My net take home, if you have my net plus my maintenance savings that I put in, my take home was right at $150,000. So that's the numbers, and they are what they are. So if you want to say what my average weekly pay is, you can take that 150 net and divide it by 52 weeks. Having said that, also keep in mind that I did take off a little more than 4 weeks last year, 3.5 weeks for vacation, and then the other time I was down due to truck needing servicing or broke down and that sort of thing. So that's the numbers, and that's how I run. Remember, I'm a hopper driver who goes home every weekend. I took 4 weeks off, and really, I don't know if there's anything else to add into that, but that's it. Those are the numbers. So can you make more at Oakley? Sure. If you're going to run hoppers, are you going to make more than me? You might, but and I hope you do. But just remember, I try to run as efficiently as possible. In this next week, I'm going to talk about that, because talking to some drivers that I know, because some drivers, drivers talk, and some of them come to me and say, I'm only getting so many miles. And saying only, they're saying amount of miles. Honestly, I scratch my head and go, how did that happen? Well, how are you only getting that many miles? And then once I have a discussion with them, I find out that they're not running like I would run, and not running their e-log as efficiently as I would run it. And they're not doing things maybe that some people would think is a little outside of the box, maybe something they wouldn't do as far as taking care of their own stuff. Like, instead of going in the yard and possibly waiting more than a couple hours to get a washout, I'll just sweep the trailer out, and it takes 15 minutes, but I could possibly save myself 2 or 3 hours, that sort of thing. But that's a whole different subject matter. So anyway, like I said, for the year, gross about 220 and net about 150. And the net from gross with Oakley in your settlement, everything is taken out of your settlement with the exception of a truck payment if you're making one. Some of you on your own truck, you wouldn't have that coming out, obviously, of your expenses. But so everything's taken out: fuel, insurance, bobtail insurance, collision insurance, the rental on the Qualcomm, the pre-pass, anything that you could have that's an expense, with the exception of maintenance on your own truck and payment for a truck, is taken out of the settlement. So that's the numbers. Okay, so the final thing I'll talk about with those numbers is in 2018, Oakley gave pretty significant raises, and I don't know why they gave the raises, but I'm happy they did. I assume it's just to be competitive in the owner-operator market, and it certainly made them a lot more competitive. And that because in 2017, our pay was fuel surcharge, loaded pay, and empty miles, loaded miles, fuel surcharge. That was the pay. And now they've added, for about a year, they've had the weight bonus on there, where it's you get paid a nickel more per loaded mile, a nickel more for having at least 50,000, 10 cents more for having 51, and 15 cents more for having 52. And as I discussed in previous videos, sometimes it's difficult to get 52. 51's pretty easy for me. So I always try to keep an average of 51,000 there to at least get that extra 10 cents a mile. And then they've added the CSA, which that didn't actually start till April or May of last year. And at first it was just like 10 cents. And then 3 or 4 months went by, and I think it was the end of August, or maybe it was the beginning of August. Anyway, they added money to the CSA bonus, which if you have a 0 CSA score, your CSA pay is 25 cents per mile loaded and empty. Now, when I was talking about the other thing I have to say about what my pay was this year, you know, getting about a 220 gross based on, and plus with all the extra pay we've got, we really only got all of that in August. So at the end of August, so September, October, November, December, so 4 months we got that extra pay. So this year we'll have that pay for the entire year. So if I run the same amount of miles I ran this year as I do next year, I estimate my gross to be somewhere around 245 this year, in that neighborhood. It could be more, could be less. But keep that in mind also, because that's the numbers for 2018. I expect 2019 to be quite a bit higher than that, just because we will have the full gamut of the new pay structure. So anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, you can leave them in a comment below or email me. It's at the end. If you like the videos, give me a thumbs up. If you're looking to go to Oakley, contact me please first, because I just want to make sure I get in contact with you, then talk to recruiting. If you're going to talk to recruiting and feel uncomfortable talking to me, I understand that. Just use me as a reference. It'd be great. And please feel free to call me, because I like to talk to drivers. You'll talk to some of them that I've talked to before. I can tend to be a chatty Cathy. But anyway, that's it. So if you have any more questions, feel free to contact me, and good luck in everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Take it easy.